chasing group. Salpetta and 11 seconds back, and there's that chasing group of the 3 Americans and Piasecki of Great Britain.
Yeah, looked in that shot just now, Tim, like Emma Bates was just a second or so adrift of that group. But meanwhile, up at the front, it's 2 Kenyans and 2 Ethiopians.
Well, almost a lap and a half to run in this World Championship Marathon. Gebrselassie and Yeshane for Ethiopia. The pairing against Korea and Tanui. It could be a doubles tennis match. And at the moment, it's 1 set all. Korea, the taller of the quartet by a couple of inches. And they are, I sense, just watching each other a little bit. Nobody's really attacking this and pushing on, and that's why that last kilometre was as slow as a 3:20. But now, last kilometre was Gebrselassie may be beginning to slow as a turnover a little bit quicker. She was World Youth Champion at 3,000 metres 11 years ago. She has track pedigree from many years back. She's also been an African Championships bronze medalist back in 2012, 10 years ago. Got it on Gebrselassie. But ran a really good half marathon in Portugal earlier on this year, 67 minutes. Yeshane, well, she's a 64-minute half marathon runner. I mean, that is in a different class to 67-minute half marathon running. I wonder if that would become significant. To the right of picture, the fastest of all of them over the half marathon is Yeshane. Ironically, though, she's the one that hasn't broken 2:20 yet. 2:20 in Chicago back in 2019. Second in Boston this year in 2:21. So has the right temperament for those major championships. They made the climb up over I-5, now the downslope for them. And actually from this point onwards, towards the end of each of these 14-kilometre laps, it's pretty much downhill. It's a long sweeping curve down towards the finish line here where we're gathered. The crowds are growing in numbers too. Really good crowds here now. They have 1 lap to go next time they come through in front of us. And then we will see, I'm sure, the gloves come off a little bit. There's a little reluctance in that quartet, Mara, at the moment. To really show their colours.
Yep, and it's showing in the latest split, which was 3:24 through 24k. So they're in danger of losing their advantage again from this chasing group. Interestingly, the World Championships, the winning times have been 2:25, 2:30, even 2:32 last year in Daegu. Helsinki, where Paula Radcliffe set the championship record, was fast. Top 4 under 2:24, and Catherine Endereba 2:23.55, winning in Paris. But otherwise, they've all been outside 2:24. So this race currently, by far the fastest World Championship women's marathon we've seen thus far. And of course, the athletes are all racing for prize money. Top 8 get prize money. $70,000 for the winner, down to $5,000 for 8th place. And there is also, for the first time ever at a World Championships, an all-around team trophy for the top 3 nations. I think we can safely say the USA must be top of that at the moment, but that's decided by points. So each athlete winning a gold medal gets 8 points, and down to 1 point for 8th place.
Salpetta and Weldu are the chasing pair. What's some 20 plus seconds back, 22 seconds back. Here they are. They've got the leading quartet in their sights, and I've just got a feeling they might be closing. If they're working together, Salpetta has the pedigree. She has the class and the experience as well, very importantly. Weldu, well, she's only just run inside 2:22, but she's running at a quicker pace than that at the moment, is the Eritrean. And she is both of them tall, rangy athletes and moving well. I think they might just be closing a little bit on the leading quartet. But as I say that, so Korea has suddenly upped the tempo. I think there's a significant acceleration there. I know we're close up alongside them, and sometimes it's deceptive. But Korea here may be accelerating into this drink station. That's why She wanted to get a drink. But will this be decisive as they come towards the end of this second of 3 laps? They are motoring now. Maybe they were getting some information. Somebody shouting at them, Mara, that, look, you've been caught. Come on.
Yeah, Korea, very good half marathon time, 65:28.
And there is a gap. There is a gap. Is that one of the Kenyans, I think, that's dropped out? The last 5K, by the way, 16:28. 25K, 1:22:04. And impossible from that shot to tell who's been dropped. It's one of the Kenyans.
I think it's Tanui. Yep, it's Tanui.
So Tanui, a couple of seconds down at 25K, 1:22:04, and that split then 3:17. So they've gone 3:20, 3:24, 3:17. Still a long way to go though, Mara.
Yeah, Tanui just trying to cling on to that group. And meanwhile, a bit further back, it looks like Piasecki and Hall have dropped D'Amato and Bates. We'll confirm that in just a moment.
Mark Coogan, I know you're out there watching from further back. What is going on around you?
I'm with the chase into and Salpeter looks like she's doing all the work. It's warming up a teeny bit. I can see some sweat on their arms and their legs, and I think they're putting a little bit of dent back into catching this lead group. I don't know if it's too late, but they're definitely putting a little bit of dent. They were 20 seconds back like 2 minutes ago.
Well, they're just taking a left onto Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard off Rainbow Drive, that leading pack. Here's Salpeter and Weldu. Weldu just tucked in behind Salpeter. She might, I suppose to be fair, she's probably redlining anyway because she's not run this fast before. Salpeter certainly has on several occasions. They negotiate that left-hand turn and then they're heading down towards the latter stages of this second lap at 25K. Gebras Lassie, Korea, Yeshone Tanui all locked together. Then Salpeter and Weldu working together, but as you can see, 23 seconds back. The Ethiopians, once again, just tucked in behind the 2 Kenyans. And I think Korea there was glancing across, just having a chat with Tanui, Mara, maybe saying, look, are you going to help me do this? Are we going to push along? Are we going to just be pacemakers for these 2 Ethiopians?
Yeah, the pace is really all over the place, isn't it? I just wonder if they're discussing strategy to try and drop the 2 Ethiopians. So the last 5K split from 20 to 25, Tim, was 16:28. Not the slowest of the race so far. The slowest was 5 to 10K. But they have slowed a fair bit from 16:08, which was the last 5K split.
It has varied enormously. The undulations on the course explain some of that. But there has still been a little bit of seesawing backwards and forwards from 1 kilometre to the next. Nobody quite sure what to do now. There's indecision in this group. Korea at the front. The tallest of all of them. Nice powerful stride. She's got slight forward lean in the torso there. Compare that with Yeshone to the left, who's got a very upright torso. And Tanui may be beginning to struggle here. I thought there was a bit of conversation a couple of minutes ago between the 2 Kenyans. Maybe Tanui was saying, look, I'm not feeling great, you go for it. And if that was the case, she may have been saying goodbye to a medal. You can see in the background there, top left of picture, Salpeter and Weldu, they are chasing hard. And there is the gap, and that is growing really quickly between that trio and Tanui. With every stride, Tanui is losing ground. Salpeter and Weldu here now have a target. And there's that climb up over I-5, which is towards the tail end of each lap on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Now let's roar up here from that chasing pair to what is the 2-second pack when it's one athlete, but this is Tanui on her own, who's labouring up this slope. And this must be really difficult, Mara, this stage for Tanui to see maybe the medals heading off into the distance.
Yeah, the last split, Tim, was 3:28, which is the second slowest of the entire race. So I think that possibly explains Tanui and Korea having a chat we saw a moment ago. You know, just saying, you know, what are we going to do? We can't jog along like this. So Korea now maybe didn't want to take it on, but she really has no choice. The Ethiopian's happy to let her do the work.
Well, Judith Jeptrup Korea on her own then, up against the two Ethiopians, and single file because she's come down off that bridge over I-5, striding out strongly, and maybe here has decided, right, that's it, I've had enough of this. If I'm going to be in front, I'm going to make you work to stay with me. I'm not just going to jog along like a pacemaker and you can slipstream behind me. And that acceleration, as they go towards that drink station, seems to have had an effect. One of the Ethiopians dropping back there, and that is not just a gap because of drink station. That is a 15-metre gap, maybe more. Gebrselassie, and it's Yeshane who is back in third place. Now side by side, one Ethiopian vest, one Kenyan vest. This could be decisive. They still have a full lap to go. A heck of a long way to go yet in this Women's World Championship Marathon. You have joined us in the recent minutes. This is the World Championship Women's Marathon on day 4 of these 18th World Athletics Championships, where we're on the approaching the end of the second lap of 3, each lap at 14 kilometres in length. They've just gone through 27 kilometres. Those little arches that form the lap markers are fabulously useful as a reference. But one big, yawning 14-kilometre lap stretches out in front of these athletes. They'll come past us very soon here at the finish line where the crowds have gathered. There's Eritrean flags being held aloft. Huge support from the crowds, which is growing on the course, and you can see the number of cyclists out there, and Korea really testing Gebrselassie here. Gebrselassie, a 2:18 athlete, Korea, a 2:19 athlete, almost inseparable on paper.
And Tim, I think we caught a glimpse there of Yeshane holding her side. Just wondering if she's got a stitch. She's now 4 seconds behind the leaders.
Well, there is the situation at 27 kilometres. 4-second gap back to Yeshane, who may be in a bit of trouble behind Korea and Gebrselassie. Tanui, the second Kenyan, is a further 7 seconds back behind Yeshane. And then 34 seconds back is Salpeter and Welder. But that's behind the leaders, so they are 23 seconds down on Tanui. And if Tanui is in a little bit of trouble, and Yeshane, maybe Salpeter and Weldu will get a sniff at a medal. What colour medal? We don't know. There's a long way to go yet. We mustn't write off anybody in this top half dozen.
Now, Tim, the last split I got 3:01, believe it or not.
Wow. That's the quickest of the race.
Yes, it is. We had a 3:05 at 19k, so you can see the damage Korea has injected with that surge. Meanwhile, Sarah Hall and Jess Piasecki are some 80 seconds or so behind the leaders. But the last time we checked, they were going slightly faster than the second group with Weldu.
Well, Korea here has no idea.
Tim, the last split I got.
Gebrselassie is thinking, or how what Gebrselassie feels like. She has got to just trust her own judgment here. A little glance over her shoulder to see if she's still there. Gebrselassie tucked in her slipstream. Keeps Korea guessing. Don't give her any information. Don't let her see your body language. That's pretty smart. But she glances over there. I don't know if she's trying to have a look round to see what damage this surge has done. Of course, the downhill off I-5 explains that 301 split to some extent. But I know she was looking back to see where third place is, or if she wants to try and get a look at Gebrselassie. But I think maybe she just needs to keep the pressure on him, Mara. Wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, I mean, we're still a fairly long way from home. We're only at 28k. They've still got a whole lap to go. They will hear the bell as they come through the finish. So approaching the finish right now.
1 lap to go then. Kenyan flags being held aloft. Eritrean flags around us as well as the leading pair. Korea of Kenya, Judith Jeptum Korea, comes through with Gotitom Gebrselassie of Ethiopia on her heels, hanging onto her coattails, or is she biding her time? 1 lap to go. They go through now. 14 kilometres to run. All to play for. It's wonderfully poised. And the third place are going through. Yeshane of Ethiopia, 6 seconds back. She's not finished yet. Tanui, a further 6 seconds behind her in 4th place. Salpesa and Weldu locked together. The Israeli and the line. You'll hear the bell probably coming through our mics. That's how close we are to the finish line. But they are, some 35 seconds back behind Tanui, that pair. Here they come. You can't help but get a little surge of adrenaline as you pass through big crowds like this. But this is going to be a tough circuit. That's behind the leaders. So they are 23 seconds down on Tanui, and pretty much Tanui is in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, this stage of the race, especially those who set off in the lead group with those up and down
will get a sniff
3:12
at a medal.
Split for the leaders.
What colour medal? We don't know. There's a long way to go yet. We mustn't
meanwhile, we're
write
hearing
off anybody in this top half dozen.
Has dropped Piasecki. Tim, the last split, I got 3:01 really 5th and 6th.
Wow. That's the quickest of the race.
Yes, it is. So we had a 3:05 at 19k. So you can see the damage Korea has injected with that surge.
Gel into her there.
Meanwhile, Sarah Hall and Jess Piasecki are some minute, 80 seconds
Sarah
or so
Hall
behind the leaders.
Raising the game, telling the crowd to keep on cheering loudly, working hard. And now this could be one of those Sarah Hall charges. Korea here, she's renowned for finishing strongly.
Tim, the last split,
Tough as nails, Sarah Hall. Been around for a long time. Great track racer in her time. Her own judgment here. She's 39 years old now. She says her preparation has gone as well as it could possibly have gone. Don't let us see your body language. That's pretty Sarah Hall. She glances over there. Great half marathon in Houston, kicking off for the 2022 season, and then surge has done. Of course, the downhill place in Tokyo. That 301 split to 70-minute run in the New York half marathon to see where third place is. She will recently a really strong road 10k in New York. I think quite a lot this year, racing really well. She's feeling good. Would you do that?
Yeah, I mean, great running by Sarah Hall from home. We're only at 28k. They've 6 seconds ahead of Jess. They will hear the bell as they come to the finish. A further 19 finish right followed by Emma Bates. 9 seconds.
1 lap to go then. Kenyan flags being held aloft. Eritrean flags around us as well as the leading pair. Korea of Kenya, Judith Jeptum Korea, 19 seconds down now. Gotitom Gebrselassie behind the leading pair of Korea and Gebrselassie at 29k. Tanui just forcing her behind her, so this is that classic. They go through Ethiopia, 6 seconds back. Ethiopian finished yet. Making inroads into the Kenyan dominance of the steeplechase these days. Salpesa, Yeshane in third place, who locked together the Israeli shoulder. She knows she's a long way down on the leaders, 19 seconds behind that leading pair. They're able to work together. Bells probably coming through our mics. That's how close we are to the finish line. Still moving pretty well, Mara.
Yeah, she looks okay. She just needs to keep it together. You're into damage limitation mode at this stage, but she only had 4 seconds on Tanui.
Here they come.
Through 29k, so can Tanui rally?
You can't help but get a little surge of adrenaline.
30 odd seconds back.
Korea, Gebrselassie locked together. Yeshane and Tanui not much between them, just 4 seconds. Then Salpeter and Weldo. It's a race of pairings at the moment. There's a Tanui closing on Yeshane. This the battle, perhaps, for the bronze medal, but don't write off Salpeter and Weldo just yet. They're in 5th and 6th. Battle for the minor places, with plenty of Americans going for a place in the top 10. That's great for the spectators along the course, many of whom maybe will have been watching this in their homes on TV and then thinking, well, heck, I can head out there and watch them go by in the flesh. Be part of a World Championships. Tanui not wasting any space, almost banging into the advertising hoardings there on the side of the course. Here's the athletes in 5th and 6th, Salpeter and Weldo. They will be getting information from their sidelines, Mara, and with 14k to go. What's 14k? It's
8 miles.
Yeah, 8 miles.
Like
so that is a long way.
Yep, and they're some 55 seconds behind the leaders, 30 odd seconds behind Tanui, but they're together and they can help each other, which does make a difference. They've got a gap of about nearly a minute back to Bekere in 7th. These two look like they've slowed ever so slightly. We'll bring you the next split. The last one was 3:08. So these two, brilliant running so far. Gebre Selassie just did her debut last September in Berlin. Relative newcomer to the marathon, but an astonishing 2:20.09 on her debut, followed up with a 2:18.18 in Tokyo in March. Very fast PB for the half marathon, 65.36, so she's got speed.
Bekere then being chased down by Sarah Hall. Piasecki in the background trying to be dragged along by Hall in this acceleration from the American. Subtle, slow acceleration, but she keeps working at it for Sarah Hall. She's not the smoothest looking of runners. The arms are flailing a little bit, Sarah Hall, but she covers the ground really well. She's got good cadence, she's got good natural speed. Her pedigree as a track runner, many pundits say irrelevant in marathons, but actually it can certainly help in the latter stages when you have those gears, psychologically as much as physically. But the 30k, Corey and Gebre Selassie have 27 seconds. That's a big, big gap. I'm sure, barring disaster, that the gold medal is going to go to one of these two.
So 3:15 for the last split for the leaders, Tim, through 30k in 1:38.08, and the last 5k split for them was 16:04, the fastest of the race so far.
Yeah, that's why the gaps have opened up, isn't it?
Yep, they've got a 27-second lead over Tanui in 3rd place. Tanui and Yeshane just about together at 30k, and they have a 35-second lead over Salpeter and Weldo.
You can hear the bell going off in the background as more athletes come through, the little packs of athletes coming through, many minutes behind this leading pair here at the finish line. But Correa still seems to me the most up for it. Gebre Selassie, is she hanging on, or is she thinking, I'm feeling fine, you just keep throwing at me everything you can and I can take it and I'll bide my time. It is a game of patience, distance running. Just have to get your head down and know that you're hurting somebody. Ooh. And is that...
Now, that is Rose Harvey, I think. Oh, yes, Rose Harvey, dear, dear. Now, has she fallen?
Well, she can't stand, so I think she's in a bad way. I think that's depletion.
Oh, dear. So, sad finish to this World Championship Marathon for the Brit Rose Harvey. But meanwhile, up at the front, Korea still doing the work, closely followed by Gebre Selassie. It's the Paris champion up against the Berlin champion.
Korea has just got to trust herself.
home straight. Marvin Bracey will go in lane 3, former world indoor silver medalist. Curley is in 4. This is going to be very special indeed. And how about this to mark the occasion? Another fly past.
Now I'm going to say that signifies that we're about to have a final. It's about to be on in here.
Alison Felix has a multitude of other media duties to attend to. Gail Devers is back on the microphone, and 8 men stand poised, ready to try and seize a moment of sporting immortality here in Hayward Field. Wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is, whatever continent you're watching on, give us 5 more minutes of your time. This could be very, very special indeed. Curley, hoping to upgrade his Olympic silver to World Championship gold on home soil.
That was the road to the final.
9.79
meters.
in the heats. Akani Sabini, could he take this title back to South Africa? He is a brilliant, brilliant major championship performer, and he's peaked at the right time. Trayvon Bromell, he's been desperate to deliver for such a long time, as has Sani Brown.
In lane number 1 from Japan,
200-meter finalist Sani Brown in 1. Bromell is on the outside in lane 8 for the world indoor champion. He's been accused of not always delivering his best in the finals.
from Japan.
Could he do so?
998 in the heat.
Sani Brown is in 1. He has made major finals before, but not as big as this. Not on a night like this, on a stage like this. In lane 7, the defending champion, world indoor silver medalist, Christian Coleman. Aaron Brown. He's been in Olympic finals. He's close to home. Did he deliver the performance of a lifetime? So much excitement in Jamaica for Oblique Seville. I know they'll be watching in Kingston and Falmouth and all over, and maybe Usain Bolt will be tuning in as well. Seville goes in 6. Marvin Bracey in lane 3. Joint 3rd fastest in the world this year. Is he going to have to break his PB to take this title? Akani Sabini has not had the easiest of seasons, but he's the Commonwealth champion. He won the Stockholm Diamond League, and he has peaked for the big time. And it really is going to be the big time. Fred Curley is a massive, massive star in the United States. Is he about to make history here on home soil? Sani Brown, Japan in 1. Aaron Brown, Canada 2. Marvin Bracey, USA 3. Fred Curley, USA in 4. Akani Sabini, South Africa 5. Oblique Seville, Jamaica 6. Coleman in 7, the defending champion. Bromell in lane 8. 4 American sprinters line up here for a moment that generations of their predecessors were desperate for. A world championship on their home soil. Can one of them secure legendary status here at Hayward Field? One chance for glory and greatness, 10 seconds to justify a lifetime of work. The men's 100-meter world championship final. They're away first time. There's a massive roar from the crowd. Coleman's going well out in lane 7. Still no move yet from Curley. Bracey going well. Curley's under pressure. Oh, it is so tight. Did Curley get it on the line, or has Marvin Bracey beaten him to the title? I think Curley might have just done it. It took him a long time to get those legs moving. It looked like he was getting tight. Curley's done it. What a moment for the 400-meter man. Bronze in Doha, silver in Tokyo, and it is all gold here for Fred Curley. He's beaten Bracey by 2/100ths of a second. Fantastic, and there's the confirmation. Trayvon Bromell has made it a clean sweep for the United States.
U.S. sweep, and he is getting that. He's taking his victory lap and getting everyone involved. He did not panic. He didn't get out, but he didn't panic.
I was watching Curley coming through the middle. Bracey ran the race of his life. He really did. He was clear. He had half a yard, but Curley didn't panic. He said for years that 400-meter stamina would see him through, and it did. It wasn't going to be 9.79, but the time is absolutely irrelevant. The World Championship is about delivering at the very moment you need to. It's not about the time, it's about the number one. And Curley cured himself a place in history.
He did. That's exactly what it's about. Nobody cares about what time he did. What I was most impressed with is that he did not panic, because he didn't have any kind of start. And he did not panic. And Bracey, like you said, he had the race of his life.
And you know what? You have to admire Fred Curley. There's no posturing, there's no gesturing. He gives the impression that he's an absolute gentleman. He is focused on his job, and his job is to fulfill a lifelong dream and make the most of this monumental talent that he's got. Coleman got out well, second from the left-hand side, but Bracey was brilliant in lane 3.
He was out first, and then Bracey on the inside started moving. You would thought that Fred was out of it, but he stayed with his composure. He just kept pulling his feet back up underneath him, and that's what got him over the line. Absolutely.
Fred Curley is sensational.
U.S. sweep.
And listen to the noise here in the stadium. He's being interviewed on the PA system. Every single person who is able in this arena is on their feet. Gold, silver and bronze to the United States. Fred Curley achieves a lifelong dream. So many times he's been close, but today he was the man. And this is a night that will never be forgotten.
That was awesome. That gave me chills. I don't think I got nervous.
Oliotia, if you are watching in Uganda, the distinctive flags was winning the 5,000 metres towards the end of the games. It was most extraordinary for the Ugandans, but Cheptegei hasn't shown that kind of form this season. The one time we've seen him, he had a crack at... There he is. He had a crack at the world record here that turned out to be a little bit lacklustre by his own very high standards. He ran a 12:57.
Cheptegei is listed as a Man United fan. They didn't have the best season either, so maybe their fortunes are intertwined, but wouldn't bet against the world record holder Joshua Cheptegei. I'd love to see him recreate that form that saw him take the world title in Doha. I feel like he's got to go pretty early. He hasn't got the sprint of some of the other athletes, particularly Borrega. But if Cheptegei can put the hammer down earlier on, maybe we could see him take a gold medal from Uganda.
Borrega is the Olympic champion. Aragawi just in front of him there. Looking to go well. This is 198. Ooh. No, she's got one more attempt to come. Maximum points required here. We'll keep our eye on that in the early stages as the men prepare for takeoff. Watch as well for Jacob Kiplimo. Incredible world half marathon record. 57:31. That's incredible. Absolutely amazing time. Watch out for Ahmed as well from Canada. He's got an excellent major championship record. Jack Rayner of Australia. McGaughty, one of the Americans, NCAA champion a few years ago over the 5,000 metres. Klecker also in there for the host nation. Got a glimpse of Worku there, Tadesse Worku, of Ethiopia, World Junior Champion, over 3,000 metres last year. Jimmy Gressier had a PB over the 5,000 in the Paris Diamond League, getting himself down to the low 13s. Big field, huge talent.